guys, what's up? This is Sugi-Khan and thanks for joining me today. Patch 5.10 breakdown, bitches. And I will be telling the highs and the lows, what champions are going to be trendy, which champions are going out of the loop, which is going to be good, which is going to be bad, and the new items, and etc. And this will be in-depth breakdown, so I will be going through every part. This is not DL tier shit. You can do that on Plakinola's channel. Fuck that shit. But let's dig on to the every change. So the first and most important thing is the new champion, Ekko. And Ekko is a champion that probably is going to be really good in mid lane and top lane. He's probably very comparable to Assassin. Those who play Dota 2 know the Nerubian Weaver. He has a very similar ultimate, so he can like go back in time and he will like regain certain part of health and he will stun opponents. He has like 2 stuns or something. He has like an okay poke and he deals like percentual damage with auto attacks, which is pretty good. So he is like a comparable to, I guess, he's kind of like the next assassin, like Mon with Akali, Katarina, Yasuo, Zed. And I think he will be pretty OP. He will probably be very squishy, and he might have problems in certain matchups. But you can juke so hard with the champion, so I don't know. It really, me and including a lot of other people have to try him out to see, like, I don't do predictions in a degree, like, so I don't want to say anything that might not be true. But that's what I get from the champion spotlight and the stuff I've been seeing. He has been banned a lot in PvE, so he could be pretty broken. But that's what every champion they're either like under-nerfed or broken. But that's just how the balance works. You just can't bring the new kid into school and like say he's gonna be on the level with others because he's coming from a... Well, that reference doesn't even make any fucking sense. But let's fucking move on. But Akali is getting some very interesting like changes. So he has like a difference like this pass-through distance and versus the mark targets of like the mark of assassin, which is his Q. And it is now lower, and that's kind of cool. Akali is kind of like a bit too strong, and I don't know, like I wish like she would get more nerfs than this, but we have to like look upon the bright side of things, and maybe next patch, maybe you can wish and pray to the gods. Cassiopeia is getting like really interesting changes. So what they're doing is they're increasing the AP ratio, the passive bonus once you hit 100 stacks. So this goes about like 0. No, wait a minute, it's less than that. It's gonna nerf. So less AP, and you will get less mana back once you refund when you kill the target. So Cassiopeia is getting nerfs. He's pretty like OP right now. She is pretty OP. Like a very good top laner, as we've seen on like MSI. Like really a lot of her prime was back in then. Like a lot of people were stomping with her. Of course she has her weaknesses, but I still think like she was pretty bit too strong and a lot of like not much of counterplay in general. Gragas E has like a fucking large collision, so the hitbox is getting smaller, so it will be like less. You like jump into 5 people, maybe hit 4, because the collision sizes have been like nerfed on the end side and the moving side. And this is really good because I felt the hitbox was kind of unreasonably big. It will also make it easier when you're like going past through minions instead of like trying to dash through the champion. So it has its bad sides and downsides, but still not gonna change Gragas' viability that much. It's a small nerf in certain scale. So Jinx is getting a very interesting change. So the Q is now will be scaling from her level and the actual minigun bonus. This will mean for the most part that she will have less AS attack speed on earlier levels, but moving on to late game, she will have 10% more attack speed on the last level. And I guess he have like 5% on like levels of 17 or 16. So in the long run, early game like damage, early game attack speed nerfed, but late game is 10% more. you want to call it, it's a pretty buff, because if you think about it, Jinx is a very snowball champion, and giving her better late games is gonna make her much better. And I usually don't build Berserker scripts for Jinx because she doesn't really need the extra attack speed, so I just go like Mercury Treads, Ludicity, or Ninja Tabi for better trading, because you just get so much like an attack speed from this Q steroid, which is insane. Let's go to Karma. So Karma is getting pretty interesting changes as well. And this will probably make Karma more played, I think. Because what is happening, so the passive, which will like refund the cooldown of the mantra, which is the ultimate, by attack speed, basic attack, sorry, and spell hits. And this is increasing a lot by different levels. At level 13 it will be like really easy to get the mantras back, which will mean she is able to spam more abilities more frequently. The W now deals more damage. It has a ratio a bit higher, and it's like 0.9. 3.0 plus is pretty a lot. It's a lot of extra AP. However, the renewal, the mantra focused resolve, is no longer dueling bonus damage, but is now increasing the focus route. But here's the thing. Nobody fucking uses the focus route. Nobody uses the focus W. So this is a win-win situation, in my opinion. I'm not a pro Karma player. Maybe, at least I think that you will use always the mantra Q or E. Never the W, because the W has a poor range. And this is I will consider it a buff, in my opinion. In that sort of a playstyle. Poke playstyle, this is really good. So E is getting like cooldown reduction, mana cost reduction, and shield reduction. So you're able to spam the shield more frequently, but it will be a bit weaker. The E ultimate will no longer do damage, but will, the primary shield target. So if you like casting, because it casts on your all teammates, the one you targeted it to will get an extra shield based on like a 50% of primary target shield amount, which is really interesting. So overall it can be higher. I have to run the math. It probably is like more stronger. So what this means in a long long goal, Karma support might be a bit stronger now. You're able to spam shields more. They may be weaker, but the movement speed is kind of one of the things about it, the mobility. Her mid lane and top lane Karma might be a bit better too, because you're able to spam abilities because of the mantra cooldown thing. That's great. Leona, like same thing as Gragas, the hitbox on the E is much shorter. I have to say the Leona fucking E is, the hitbox was insane, and this is good that they nerfed it. I think Leona is kind of broken. I always think that, but that's my saltiness just going in. Lulu, more base mana regen, but less growth. So her early game is going to be stronger now because she's able to spam spells. More offensive as a support, for instance. You're able to spam the Q more often. Not that much in like a scale, but it might reflect a lot in the late game. The longer the battle continues. Rek'Sai, base health down, so it's a nerf. Gonna be still viable, guys. Don't worry. Rice is getting buffs, so the duration of the supercharge is now 6 seconds at every rank. The Q's damage at level 2, well, everything except the first level is going to be higher now, and the ultimate will last 6 seconds at all ranks. I think Rice was kind of underwhelming a bit, but I think I blame it partly on people not finding the best role for Rice and not maybe finding the best build for him. I still think even with these buffs, he would have been like a really decent champion. But I'm really looking forward to play Rice now because he's like buffed now and he might be OP again. I really kind of like the new Rice because it's more skill orientated, because you have to time your spell, you have to time your shield more, and Q is a skill shot. Sejuani is getting a tooltip fix, so it is dealing the same target's maximum health as it was really on real time. So it is less on the last level and the second last, so it's 6% instead of 10% in the last level. Some bug on Saya, nobody gives a shit. Taric, less mana cost on Q. They're reworking the champion. Why do you fucking have to do these fucking fucking weird changes because you're fucking reworking the champion anyways. Doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But whatever, man. Shop performance, no more crashes, I guess. And this is a very interesting change for the support. So the ancient coin is now getting more gold by the nearby minion deaths. The gold correction range is now higher by 300 range, and it's giving more like base mana regen, and the active on the talisman is now like 20 seconds less. And I will be talking about the mastery thing later on, which like it reduces the times on active items. So you're able to spam this very frequently. I could actually see some people picking it on LCS, because if you're like playing in 2v1 lane, this would be a very ideal item to really buy, you know, because you get mana regen. Well, not the first level, it doesn't get mana regen, but it's really cheap to upgrade the Nomad's Medallion. So I think this is like a very interesting change, but you have to understand which champions are really good with this coin. I would say like maybe Janna or Lulu or Sona, but I still think that the other two options are better. It really depends on like what kind of situation you want to use the Talisman Ascension. Talisman Ascension, like on the book, looks like a really good item, but it's maybe a bit overhyped in the lower elos. I see it quite much in like Blitzcranks, but you should just build Dargon. Dargon is better. They're making really interesting changes to Ardent Sensor, one of my favorite items. So it now gives you attack speed buff of 30 magic damage on hit. It doesn't say for how long. I remember the attack speed buff being 6 seconds. This is gonna be pretty huge for champions like Janna, because Moonsoon heals in range. So this means that, well, you can like fucking get a lot of fucking damage in your fucking team with this buff. It's pretty insane with certain champion combos, and will be very effective on bot lane. This is an excellent item for Janna and Lulu, and everybody would heal. Even Nidalee support, which you never should buy, never should play. You should be crucified on a cross if you do that, and you should be burned alive after that. I mean, don't fucking play that champion as support. But yeah, it's a very interesting change. It doesn't no longer work on minion waves. I wish it would work still on turrets, because Janna can shield the turrets. Blade of the Ruined King and Bilgawater Kudla's ranges have been increased by 100. Really good quality of life change. Banner of Command has now higher range. It was a very lackluster range before. This was very needed buff. It's a niche item, I like it, but it could use some tweak. And here's a very interesting part. This is where a lot of tier crafting will appear. So utility masters are going to change. And these are really big changes, and these are all in the utility path. For maybe you can see like more APs taking more utility masteries now. So meditation is now giving you like a similar type of like a chalice thing, but it's instead of like 5 seconds. And this is more mana, I guess, than the old one. So meditation is a pretty like strong mastery right now. This is a pretty good mastery. Expanded Mind give you now 25, 50, and 75 mana. This is also very good for champions like Singed and other champions that need mana, I guess. Really good for supports that really need, like Blitzcrank needs mana. Don't plug and play Blitzcrank, but Blitzcrank needs a lot of mana early on. And you always should play like a utility tree with him. So these are like good things, because give you an early spike, give you early like lead much higher. Inspiration gives more experience now. The Bandit gives you 8 gold for each time enemy champion attacks. So this is for melees, Braum, Blitzcrank, etc. And probably Shen support also. Really good mastery. And this is really important change. So reduces cooldown of activated items up to 20%. And I can see like people building the Z0S Polo with 20% cooldown. You can maybe have even 3-1 up at the same time with one character. I'm not 100% sure on that, but interesting change. This is going to be very overpowered. This could actually even make some like AP champions like spec more on the utility tree. You know, have to see. Wanderer is no longer 5% movement speed, is 20%. So I guess this is like every other master industry, so more early game stats. Super minions have 10 magic resistance. What, there's a minus? I'm not sure. This must be 30. So 10 MR less, which is cool. They were kind of strong. Monster leashing has been changed. So, you know, you can't leash anymore that frequently. Visual adjustments, more like critters and shit. And now you're able to see the ranked inactivity notifications. Featured game mode. Hexagon making back into the line. No, never tried that. And some bug fixes that nobody cares about. New skins, Sunstorm Ekko, kinda meh. Knockout Lee Sin actually does punches, which is really cool. The ultimate is a punch also, so that's pretty cool. The Nightmare Tryndamere is super meh. What was already meh. But thanks for watching. It was pretty much 16-minute video, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully I break down all the important changes for you guys so you understand what will happen when you jump on to the next patch. And give it a subscribe, like, and share, whatever. Comment below if you have any questions about the new patch, and I will always answer everybody who is in need. And see you guys on the next patch breakdown. Cheers.